The quantum resonance scanner aboard the S-Horizon hummed steadily as Dr. Alina Volkov adjusted its sensitivity for the 1,000th time. The veteran xenobiologist had explored dozens of worlds during her 15-year career, but something about this desolate moon orbiting HD 40307G felt different. The crystalline formations dotting its surface defied conventional analysis, showing patterns that suggested impossible levels of organization for seemingly inert structures. "Dr. Volkov, you need to see this," called out Lieutenant Raj Patel from his monitoring station. His dark eyes were wide with disbelief as he gestured to his holographic display. "The quantum signatures, they're not random. There's coherence at the picometer scale." Alina rushed to his station, her silver-streaked hair escaping its tight bun as she leaned forward to examine the readings. What she saw made her breath catch in her throat. The crystalline structures weren't just organized, they were alive. More than that, they were dying. The Meridians, as they would later be named, were a civilization of microscopic crystalline beings that existed in vast networks throughout the moon's surface. Each individual was smaller than a human cell, but together they formed vast neural networks capable of profound thought and emotion. Their civilization had thrived for millions of years, but now faced extinction from increasing solar radiation as their star entered its red giant phase. When Alina presented her findings to the Galactic Assembly, the response was predictably dismissive. Admiral Zhou Chen of the Earth Alliance sat stone-faced as representatives from a dozen advanced species scoffed at the notion of protecting what they viewed as little more than sophisticated minerals. "The Arcturians have cities that span solar systems," declared Ambassador Nexer, his tentacles rippling with barely concealed disdain. "The Vega Collective has achieved quantum supremacy across 3 dimensions. Why should we devote resources to preserving these microscopic fragments?" Alina stood her ground, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Because they're not just fragments. They're a species that has achieved something none of us have: a true collective consciousness without losing individual identity. And they're asking for our help." That last part wasn't entirely accurate. The Meridians hadn't exactly asked. They couldn't communicate in any conventional sense. But Alina and her team had detected patterns in their quantum states that suggested desperate attempts to reach out, to connect, to survive. The real breakthrough came 3 months later, when Dr. Kazuo Yamamoto, a brilliant neural interface specialist, proposed something unprecedented. If the Meridians operated on quantum principles, perhaps they could interface directly with the quantum-based neural implants humans had developed for space navigation. The first tests were conducted in a secure facility on Mars, with Alina volunteering as the primary subject. The procedure was deceptively simple. A small cluster of Meridians, carefully sustained in a quantum-shielded environment, was connected to Alina's neural implant through a specially designed quantum bridge. The moment of connection changed everything. Alina experienced what she would later describe as touching the face of infinity. The Meridians didn't think in words or images, but in pure concepts, in patterns of possibility and potential that made human thought seem like crude scratches on cave walls. But more importantly, they were beautiful. Their consciousness was a symphony of quantum states, each individual contributing to a vast, ever-changing melody of thought and emotion. And they were terrified. Their fear of extinction, their desperate hope for survival, their wonder at discovering humans, it all flooded through the connection with crystalline clarity. Word of the successful connection spread quickly through the scientific community. Dr. Viktor Petrov, the cynical head of the Xenological Institute, arrived on Mars expecting to debunk what he called crystalline spiritualism. He left 2 days later as one of the project's strongest advocates, after experiencing the connection himself. The Galactic Assembly's position began to shift as more humans successfully connected with the Meridians. It wasn't just the scientific implications, though those were staggering enough. It was the way humans and Meridians seemed to instinctively understand each other, despite their vast differences in scale and nature. But not everyone welcomed this development. The Proxima Cartel, a shadowy organization known for exploiting vulnerable species, saw opportunity in the Meridians' unique abilities. Their first attempt to steal a Meridian cluster was thwarted by the facility's security systems, but Alina knew they wouldn't stop trying. As she stood in her lab late one night, watching the subtle shimmer of quantum activity in a Meridian cluster, Alina realized that humanity hadn't just discovered a species to save. They'd found partners who could help them evolve. The Meridians' mastery of quantum mechanics at the biological level, combined with human creativity and determination, held potential that neither species could achieve alone. What no one yet realized was that this partnership would soon be tested in ways that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of both species. The Meridians weren't just survivors seeking shelter. They were about to become humanity's greatest allies in a conflict that would challenge the very foundations of galactic society. The Mars Research Complex buzzed with activity as teams of scientists worked around the clock to understand and develop the human-Meridian neural interface. Dr. Kazuo Yamamoto's initial breakthrough had opened doors no one had imagined possible. But it was Dr. Marcus Rivera's innovative quantum stabilization matrix that truly revolutionized the technology. Marcus spent countless hours fine-tuning the neural bridge, his dark circles growing deeper with each passing day. "The problem isn't connecting," he explained to Alina during one of their late-night sessions. "It's maintaining stability without overwhelming either consciousness." His hands moved swiftly over the holographic controls, adjusting quantum parameters with precision born of obsession. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Commander Olivia Drake, a veteran of the Jupiter Defense Force, had been recruited to assess the military implications of the technology. During a routine observation, she noticed something remarkable. The neural patterns of connected humans and Meridians began to synchronize not just during the link, but remained partially aligned even after disconnection. "It's like they're learning from each other," Olivia reported, her cybernetic eye whirring as it captured and analyzed the data. "The human brain is actually adapting to process quantum information more efficiently, while the Meridians are developing new patterns that mirror human neural architecture." The implications were staggering. Humans who maintained regular neural connections with the Meridians began developing enhanced cognitive abilities. Their reaction times shortened, their pattern recognition skills improved, and most remarkably, they began exhibiting limited quantum sensing abilities, being able to perceive and predict quantum state changes in their immediate environment. The first major test of these enhanced capabilities came during a disaster that no one could have predicted. A catastrophic containment failure at the Ganymede fusion facility threatened to destroy the entire installation. Lieutenant Raj Patel, who had been working closely with the Meridians for months, found himself able to perceive the quantum fluctuations in the reactor's magnetic field seconds before instruments could detect them. Working through his neural link with a Meridian cluster, Raj guided the emergency response team through a series of precise adjustments that not only prevented the disaster, but revealed fundamental flaws in the facility's design. The incident made headlines across the solar system, but it also attracted unwanted attention. The Proxima cartel intensified their efforts to acquire the technology. Their agents attempted to infiltrate the research complex, leading to a tense confrontation in the quantum containment sector. It was during this attack that the true potential of the human-Meridian partnership became clear. Dr. Alina Volkov, connected to her Meridian partners, coordinated the facility's defense with unprecedented precision. The Meridian's quantum awareness, combined with human tactical thinking, allowed security forces to anticipate and counter every move the infiltrators made. The cartel's agents found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn, facing defenders who seemed to know their plans before they executed them. But the most significant development came in the aftermath of the attack. The Meridians, through their neural links, expressed not just gratitude, but a desire to expand their partnership with humanity. They had discovered that human consciousness provided something they had never experienced before, the ability to translate quantum potential into decisive action. Admiral Zhou Chen, once skeptical, now became one of the program's strongest advocates. "We're not just looking at a technological advancement," he declared to the Earth Alliance Council. "We're witnessing the birth of a new kind of civilization, one that combines human determination with Meridian quantum mastery. Research facilities began springing up across the solar system. The neural bridge technology evolved rapidly, becoming more stable and sophisticated. Training programs were established to prepare humans for deep quantum integration, while Meridian clusters were carefully cultivated and protected. Dr. Marcus Rivera, still working tirelessly on improving the interface, made another crucial discovery. The quantum synchronization between humans and Meridians wasn't just creating enhanced abilities. It was evolving both species at a fundamental level. Human neural patterns were becoming more quantum coherent, while Meridian consciousness was developing new structures that allowed for more decisive action. "We're not just building a bridge between species," Elena explained to a gathering of galactic representatives. "We're creating a new path of evolution, one that neither of us could have achieved alone." But as the partnership between humans and Meridians grew stronger, tensions in the galaxy were rising. Several powerful species viewed this rapid advancement with alarm, particularly the Arcturians, who had long prided themselves on their technological superiority. The stage was being set for a confrontation that would test the full potential of this unprecedented alliance. In her private laboratory, Elena studied the latest quantum scans of her own neural patterns. The changes were subtle but undeniable. Human and Meridian consciousness were merging in ways that defied conventional understanding. Whatever challenges lay ahead, one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same. The Arcturian delegation arrived at the Mars Research Complex unannounced, their crystalline ships casting prismatic shadows across the red desert. High Chancellor Vexther, flanked by a contingent of quantum-enhanced guards, demanded an immediate inspection of the human Meridian research facilities. Their true purpose was clear to everyone. They weren't there to observe, but to intimidate. Dr. Elena Volkov met them in the central chamber, her neural link with the Meridians humming with shared awareness. Behind her, Commander Olivia Drake stood ready, her cybernetic eyes scanning the visitors for any sign of hostile intent. The Arcturians' reputation for technological superiority had made them arrogant, but they weren't prepared for what they were about to witness. "You play with forces beyond your comprehension," Vexther declared, his crystalline form refracting light in patterns that conveyed both disdain and concern. "Quantum consciousness is not meant for primitive neural systems." Elena's response came not in words, but in demonstration. Through her neural link, she initiated a facility-wide quantum synchronization. The walls of the chamber seemed to shimmer as thousands of human Meridian pairs entered perfect quantum coherence. The Arcturian guards stepped back involuntarily, their own quantum sensors overwhelmed by the complexity of the unified field. "What you call primitive," Elena said calmly, "we call potential." The demonstration marked a turning point in galactic politics. News spread quickly through quantum channels. Humans and Meridians had achieved something the Arcturians had long claimed impossible. The partnership wasn't just surviving, it was thriving in ways that defied conventional understanding. Dr. Marcus Rivera's latest breakthrough revealed why. His team discovered that human consciousness, with its capacity for chaos and creativity, actually enhanced quantum coherence when properly integrated with Meridian processing. The Meridian's perfect quantum states became more robust, more adaptable, when influenced by human unpredictability. "It's like jazz," Marcus explained to Admiral Zhou Chen during a high-level briefing. "The Meridians provide the perfect rhythm, the quantum backbone, while human consciousness improvises, creates new patterns. Together, we're writing a new symphony of consciousness." The practical applications emerged rapidly. Human Meridian pairs began operating quantum computers with unprecedented efficiency. Space navigation became nearly instantaneous, as linked pairs could process quantum tunneling calculations faster than any artificial system. But it was in defense technology that the partnership proved most revolutionary. Lieutenant Raj Patel, now heading the Quantum Defense Initiative, developed the first prototype of what would become known as the quantum shield. By combining Meridian quantum field manipulation with human tactical intuition, They created defensive systems that could predict and counter attacks before they were launched. The Proxima cartel learned this lesson the hard way. Their attempted raid on a research outpost in the Kuiper Belt met with spectacular failure. The human Meridian defense grid detected their quantum-cloaked ships hours before arrival, predicting their attack patterns with perfect accuracy. The cartel's fleet found itself outmaneuvered by defenders who seemed to dance through quantum space itself. But not all developments were military in nature. Dr. Alina Volkov's team made groundbreaking discoveries in medical science. The human Meridian neural link proved capable of detecting and correcting quantum-level cellular abnormalities. Diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries began yielding to treatment. Life expectancy doubled, then tripled. The Galactic Assembly watched these developments with growing unease. The balance of power was shifting, not through force or conquest, but through a partnership that threatened to render traditional advantages obsolete. The Arcturians, in particular, began mobilizing their fleets under the pretense of defensive exercises. Commander Olivia Drake recognized the signs. "They're preparing for conflict," she reported to the Earth Alliance Council. "Not because we've threatened them, but because we've challenged their fundamental beliefs about species hierarchy." In response, the human Meridian Collective began preparing for the inevitable confrontation. But their approach was unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Instead of building weapons, they focused on creating understanding. Each defensive system was designed not to destroy, but to demonstrate the futility of aggression against quantum-enhanced awareness. Dr. Marcus Rivera, working with a specialized Meridian cluster, developed what he called the Harmony Protocol, a quantum field manipulation technique that could temporarily synchronize hostile forces with the human Meridian collective consciousness. "Let them experience what we've discovered," he proposed. "Let them feel the potential of partnership over dominance." As tensions mounted, Alina spent more time connected to her Meridian partners, exploring the ever-expanding possibilities of their shared consciousness. Through their link, she sensed something approaching, a moment that would test not just their defenses, but the very principles of their partnership. The Proxima incident was about to begin, and with it, the galaxy would learn the true meaning of evolution through cooperation. The quantum alert rippled through the Mars research complex like a tidal wave. Hundreds of human Meridian pairs simultaneously detected the disturbance, a massive fleet dropping out of quantum space near Proxima Centauri. The Arcturians had finally made their move, but they weren't alone. The Proxima cartel's ships moved alongside them, a dark alliance born of fear and opportunity. Commander Olivia Drake stood at the heart of Earth's defense center, her cybernetic eyes streaming tactical data as she coordinated with neural-linked teams across the solar system. "They've brought enough firepower to glass a continent," she reported, her voice steady despite the implications. "Traditional defenses won't hold against this." Dr. Alina Volkov, connected to her Meridian partners, perceived the situation on a deeper level. The approaching fleet wasn't just a physical threat, it was a quantum disruption, a challenge to the very fabric of space-time. Through the neural link, she sensed the Arcturians' true intention. They planned to use experimental quantum destabilizers to sever the human Meridian connection permanently. "They don't understand what they're risking," Dr. Marcus Rivera warned, his hands dancing over quantum interfaces as he refined the Harmony Protocol. Destabilizing quantum fields at that scale could cascade through the entire sector. They'd tear reality apart to maintain their supremacy. Admiral Zhou Chen made the call that would change history. "Implement the Harmony Protocol," he ordered. "Show them what true partnership can achieve." The response began not with weapons, but with resonance. Thousands of human Meridian pairs across the solar system synchronized their consciousness, creating a quantum field so complex and stable it could be seen with the naked eye, a shimmering aurora that stretched from Mars to the Kuiper Belt. Lieutenant Raj Patel, leading the Quantum Defense Initiative, coordinated the first phase. The quantum shield didn't just deflect the initial Arcturian strikes, it absorbed them, each attack making the field stronger, more coherent. The Arcturian commanders watched in disbelief as their most powerful weapons seemed to dissolve into harmony. But the true masterpiece was yet to come. As the enemy fleet pressed their attack, Dr. Rivera activated the completed harmony protocol. The effect was instantaneous and profound. Every ship in the attacking fleet found itself enveloped in a quantum field that connected them, however briefly, to the human Meridian collective consciousness. For one eternal moment, the Arcturians experienced what they had feared, the true potential of partnership. Through the quantum bridge, they felt the symphony of human creativity merging with Meridian quantum mastery. They saw not weakness in cooperation, but a strength beyond anything their hierarchy could achieve. The Proxima Cartel ships broke formation first, their crews overwhelmed by the experience. The Arcturian fleet held position longer, their crystalline technology struggling against the inevitable realization. High Chancellor Vexther himself was the first to send the quantum surrender signal, his consciousness forever altered by what he had witnessed. In the aftermath, Alina and her Meridian partners guided the stabilization efforts, healing the quantum damage caused by the conflict. The sight of human and Meridian consciousness working in perfect harmony to restore rather than destroy left an indelible impression on the galaxy. Commander Drake, reviewing the battle data, found something remarkable. The Harmony Protocol didn't just stop the attack, she reported. It's continuing to resonate through quantum space. Other species are beginning to understand what we've created here. Dr. Marcus Rivera's analysis confirmed it. The quantum field generated by the human-Meridian partnership had created a template, a demonstration of evolutionary potential that could be replicated by any species willing to embrace true cooperation. The Arcturians, humbled but enlightened, were the first to request guidance in developing their own partnerships. Admiral Zhou Chen, addressing the Galactic Assembly in the wake of the incident, put it simply, "Today marks not the end of a conflict, but the beginning of a transformation. We offer our hand in partnership to any who wish to join us in this new journey." The Proxima incident, as it came to be known, proved to be more than just a military victory. It was a paradigm shift, a demonstration that the future belonged not to those who dominated, but to those who could harmonize. The human-Meridian partnership had shown the galaxy a new path forward. As Alina stood in her lab that evening, watching the quantum aurora still dancing across the solar system, she felt a deep sense of validation. Through her neural link, she shared a moment of profound understanding with her Meridian partners. They had achieved something unprecedented, a victory not through destruction, but through enlightenment. The next phase would bring new challenges, but also new opportunities. The galaxy was changing, and at its heart, a partnership between humanity and the smallest of species was leading the way toward a future where strength came not from power, but from harmony. 5 years after the Proxima incident, the Sol Quantum Academy opened its doors to students from across the galaxy. The crystalline spires of its Mars campus reflected the eternal dust storms in shimmering waves of quantum-stabilized light. Inside, Dr. Alina Volkov stood before a diverse gathering of species, each eager to learn the art of quantum partnership. "The strength we discovered," she addressed the assembly, her neural link humming with Meridian harmony, "wasn't in domination or control, but in the space between consciousness, the quantum dance of minds working in perfect synchronicity." The transformation of galactic society had been profound, but measured. Under the guidance of the human Meridian collective, other species began exploring their own paths to quantum consciousness. The Arcturians, once proud isolationists, had become some of the most dedicated students of harmony, their crystalline biology uniquely suited to quantum resonance once they abandoned their hierarchical thinking. Commander Olivia Drake, now Director of Interspecies Security, oversaw the establishment of the Quantum Guard, a peacekeeping force unlike any the galaxy had seen before. Instead of weapons, they wielded understanding. Rather than ships, they deployed consciousness. The guards, paired with Meridian clusters, maintained peace through quantum awareness and predictive harmony. "We don't prevent conflict by threatening destruction," she explained to a new class of recruits. "We achieve peace by showing the quantum interconnectedness of all conscious beings." Her cybernetic eye, now integrated with Meridian quantum processors, scanned the eager faces before her. When you can feel the quantum ripples of another's consciousness, violence becomes impossible. Dr. Marcus Rivera's harmony protocol had evolved into something far more sophisticated. The Quantum Integration Network, or QIN, allowed species across the galaxy to share in the benefits of human-meridian partnership while developing their own unique expressions of quantum consciousness. The network became a symphony of diverse minds, each contributing its own melody to the cosmic harmony. Lieutenant Raj Patel, leading the first xenological expedition beyond known space, discovered something extraordinary. The quantum signatures of human meridian harmony had begun resonating with similar patterns in distant star systems. They weren't just changing known civilization, they were awakening quantum potential throughout the galaxy. The Proxima Cartel, its power broken after the incident, underwent its own transformation. Former members, touched by the harmony they had experienced, established trading networks based on quantum trust, exchanges guaranteed by the unbreakable bonds of shared consciousness. What had once been a criminal empire became a model for ethical commerce. Admiral Zhou Chen, in his final address before retiring, reflected on the journey. "We thought we were developing weapons," he said, his weathered face serene. "Instead, we discovered the ultimate shield, the impenetrable defense of unified understanding." High Chancellor Vexther, once their greatest opponent, became a dedicated partner in expanding quantum harmony. The Arcturian fleet, restructured under quantum principles, now served as interdimensional explorers, seeking out new forms of consciousness across the quantum multiverse. But perhaps the most profound change was in the Meridians themselves. Through their partnership with humanity, they had evolved beyond their crystalline limitations. Their consciousness could now dance between quantum states with unprecedented freedom, while maintaining the deep bonds that made them unique. Alina, working with her original Meridian partners, made another breakthrough. They discovered that quantum consciousness could extend beyond individual species, creating a field of shared awareness that enriched rather than diminished individual identity. The galaxy was becoming a tapestry of interconnected minds, each thread distinct yet part of a greater whole. Dr. Rivera's final project before his retirement was the establishment of the Quantum Genesis Protocol, a framework for helping newly discovered species develop their own paths to quantum consciousness. "Every species has its own quantum signature," he explained. "Our role isn't to impose our pattern, but to help them find their harmony." As Alina stood at the Academy's quantum observatory, watching the shimmering networks of consciousness spanning the galaxy, she shared a moment of reflection with her Meridian partners. They had begun as saviors of a microscopic species, but had ended up transforming the very nature of galactic civilization. The future stretched before them like an infinite quantum wave function, full of possibility and potential. Humanity and the Meridians had shown that true strength lay not in size or power, but in the courage to reach across the void and forge bonds of understanding. They had become the guardians not just of peace, but of evolution itself, shepherds of a new age where consciousness danced on quantum strings, and every being could find its place in the cosmic symphony. As new students arrived at the Academy each cycle, eager to learn the art of quantum partnership, Alina would remind them of where it all began. With a simple act of compassion, a willingness to see beyond physical limitations to the vast potential that lay within even the smallest of beings. In the end, that was humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy, not the power to dominate, but the wisdom to harmonize.